I think it's safe to say when it comes to Jeremy Slater, he's one of those writers that really, really cares about this franchise and that loves this series altogether, and that's a good thing. But we got some interesting updates from him, so make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video for more updates from yours truly. Now, Jeremy Slater had an interview with someone, I don't know their names, but shout out to them anyway, and he talks Mortal Kombat 3, 4, and 5 if this second movie becomes successful in the box office, which I know it will because of the trailers and the budget and the fights. You know, there's no anything errors like the first movie had, but go ahead and have a listen.
It feels like my baby. You know, obviously it's a collaborative effort and a lot of people worked really hard on it, but I feel so insanely proud. And it was part of why the delay was really tough when this got bumped from October. You know, we've been waiting like a year and a half to show this to people, and knowing that we had something really good and really special on our hands, and knowing that the fans were really going to like this, but we just had to wait until it made sense, you know, until there were available IMAX screens and there was a window where there was no direct competition. We had to really find the right spot to sort of bring this out to give us as many chances as possible to make Mortal Kombat 3 and 4 and 5. Like, I want this to be a franchise. I want this to keep going. So it was really hard knowing we had something special and dying for everyone to see it, and having to wait basically a little over a year for that to happen. But now that it's here and people are reacting exactly the way we dreamed they would, it is so... every time I pull up TikTok or Twitter or Blue Sky or anything and see those sort of early reactions, it just puts the biggest smile on my face because I feel like we did it. I feel like we accomplished exactly what we set out to do, which is make the greatest Mortal Kombat film of all time.
And it was announced last year, at least from what I read, that there is going to be a 3, and you are attached as a screenwriter. Is that still the case?
Yes. I mean, the movie hasn't been greenlit. Everything is really dependent on how 2 does at the box office. Mm-hmm. I feel like we're in a really good spot just looking at the fan excitement and everything. So I think we're going to get the answer we want. But, you know, ultimately, we have to hope that the fans show up and kind of prove to Warner Brothers and New Line that, like, yeah, like keep making these movies because the fans will support them and they will be there. Yeah, I'm rewriting my second draft of the script for part 3 right now. I'm having so much fun with it. You know, in the same way that with 2, we tried to take all the mistakes and all the lessons that they learned on 1 and make part 2 even better. We're trying to take all the things that we learned on part 2 and make 3 even better, so that it's a series that is constantly trying to top itself and deliver more spectacle, more fun, more insane fights. You know, we want to just keep making these as great as we possibly can.
What's your takeaway as a screenwriter and having this finished, even though you'll start working on the next one, but in case anything else comes up, what's your greatest takeaway from this movie as a screenwriter?
You know, it's relief. I was...
It's like an albatross, like it's done?
It's not, no, not in that sense at all. It's a relief in the sense that I sort of came in after part 1 and I pitched like not only the story of what I thought needed to happen in 2, but a recalibration of tone, of we need to do a better job of embracing how funny this series is, how wild and outlandish and over the top this series is. You know, I think there were a lot of reasons. They had a lot of challenges on the first movie, which we didn't have. They had a lot less money. They had a lot of cooks in the kitchen. They had to sort of prove, without knowing that there was a fan base out there, they had to prove that, like, yeah, you can make a martial arts fantasy movie that's hard R with some crazy gore, and that audiences will support it. And once they did that, I sort of came in and I was like, okay, we proved that the audiences will come, but the thing that we're still missing is the fun. We need to really infuse this with more of a sense of humor. We need to let the characters be funny. We need to make sure that this is a thrill ride for the audience and that they're laughing and screaming and closing their eyes and saying, oh my God, I can't believe.
You know, there's a reason why he was the right person to approach this project, because Jeremy is one of those writers that understands and knows the lore of Mortal Kombat and the franchise and the fan base. He understands what the fans want. But the thing that got me the most is when he said that even though MK3 is not really greenlighted yet, so they're still waiting on if the box office does pretty well, then they're gonna make an announcement and just say, hey, okay, we're gonna do the MK3 film now that MK2 is doing very well in the box office. I mean, it's all about giving the fans what they want, you know what I'm saying? Which I do believe that MK3 is going to be one of the most outstanding films in cinema's history. Because one of the things that I love what he said, that even though that the Mortal Kombat 2 has everything you want in a video game fighting game or a fighting game movie, it's that there's blood, gory, fatalities and whatnot. You have it all. But what's really missing is fun. A lot of fun, a lot of passion, a lot of love. Unlike the first movie from 2021, where even though at the time we were all in the pandemic, you know, at least the movie was trying to do something, but it just wasn't even that great of a first movie because it was kind of like a prequel of introducing the characters and their fatalities or whatever. And Greg Russo, I feel like, even though he was a fan, but I feel like he didn't do a good job as a writer, writing one of the stupidest arcanas ever, where you could have at least gave these characters powers from the games. But with this movie, I feel like you have everything. You have the fatalities, you have the powers, you have the story, and the most important one is the tournament. So based on what I heard from this man, it's that he loves the project. The fans got a great reaction. They all love this movie, and which makes me even more excited to see it myself. I mean, heck, we might even do a live reaction to the movie sometime in the future. But for right now, all of us could just wait until Friday or even Saturday to go see it, because I think this movie is going to end up being the biggest surprise yet. Because right now, this movie is going to end up killing the box office already. And if it does, the MK3 movie is officially in the works. After that, it's going to be MK4 and 5, like I said. And I think, according to Future Boy Who, shout out to him, when we saw Liu Kang wearing the red outfit reminiscent of MK4, I believe it's going to be a mixture of both MK3 and 4 in terms of the storylines or whatever. I believe either Shang Tsung or even Kung Lao will return because of the games. Shao Kahn can pretty much make a comeback, creating an invasion of Earth Realm and Nether Realm, like in MK3 the game, and turn it into $1 billion storyline or whatever. So I believe if you do stuff like that, then this franchise is going to end up being, you know, one of their best, you know. And so is MK4. You can have Liu Kang once again be the center of attention, facing off against Shinnok and retrieving the amulet or whatever. So if you're based on MK4 based on the video game, which is Mortal Kombat 4, even though the game is not perfect by all means, but at least it's something. But you got something, you know. This franchise definitely has a writer that cares about the tournament and the games. So yeah, shout out to Jeremy Slater. I think he's going to be one of the best writers out there. I hope Todd Garner and them does not let this man go, because we need him some more Mortal Kombat. So what's y'all thoughts on this man? Let me know.